Hello, and welcome to Just Say It, the podcast that turns beginners into confident English speakers. Each episode brings you real-life conversations, repeat after me practice, and fun cultural tips. Ready to speak up? Let's dive in.
Like, let's unpack this. Have you ever walked into a new social situation, maybe a room buzzing with people, and you've thought, okay, I want to connect, but where do I even begin? Or maybe you're practicing your English, right? And the whole idea of making small talk just sends like a shiver down your spine.
Oh, absolutely. It's such a common feeling.
It really is. That little internal scramble, for the right words, the fear of that awkward silence, or maybe even worse, saying something that just falls flat.
Yeah.
That moment of hesitation, it can feel like a real barrier, can it? A barrier to actually connecting.
It definitely can. And that's really what our material today gets into. It offers a pretty comprehensive look at not just what to say in those moments, but also digs into why we communicate the way we do and, ultimately how to really foster that connection. Cool. We've gathered insights from different communication guides, some really fascinating academic research, actually, on the sociology of friendship. Yeah, and even a very personal, kind of heartfelt account from someone navigating exactly this, building a social life in a new language. So it's a rich mix of perspectives.
Right. All focused on that basic human need we have to connect through talking to each other.
Exactly.
So this whole exploration, then, it's really about equipping you, the listener, with the tools, the insights, to step into English conversations more confidently, to build more meaningful connections, and maybe start understanding those subtle social cues that honestly make all the difference.
Yeah, those unspoken rules.
Totally.
Yep.
So we're going to journey from the very purpose of conversation itself through practical ways to start talking, how to keep it flowing.
Which can be tricky.
Oh, definitely. And then we'll get into the really fascinating world of cultural differences in friendship, and finally, how to tackle those internal roadblocks like shyness and find communities where you can practice.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
The idea is to help turn those social jitters into, genuine opportunities.
Let's start right at the beginning then. Why do we even bother with conversations? It's got to be more than just filling awkward silences, surely.
Oh, much more. Our sources, particularly one from Very Well Mind, really lay out these fundamental purposes, and they show just how vital conversations are.
Okay.
At its core, really, conversation is the ultimate building block for relationships. It sounds simple, but when we share our thoughts or feelings, we're not just swapping information.
Right.
We're actively creating understanding between us. We're forging bonds. Think about those moments when you feel truly understood or when you really get what someone else is trying to say.
Yeah, that clicks.
That's where the magic happens, right? It's this ongoing back and forth act of building trust, building rapport piece by piece.
That makes sense. And it's not just about the deep stuff either, is it?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
The same source emphasizes how conversations are the main way we share our stories, our experiences, even our hopes and dreams. They're the vehicle for shared laughter, for empathy, for telling those anecdotes that make us smile or laugh out loud, or even sometimes cry together.
Right.
When you manage to keep a conversation going, you're essentially creating that space, that vital space for genuine sharing and connection. It's how we get to know each other beyond just the surface level stuff.
Yeah, think about your favorite memories. How many of them involve a conversation? A late night chat, a funny story someone told.
Exactly. A lively debate, or just recounting one thing silly that happened. They stick with you.
They really do. And you mentioned small talk earlier, which so many people dread.
The necessary evil for some.
Right, yeah. But the source actually describes it as a kind of social lubricant, which is a great image, I think.
It is.
Imagine walking into a room and everyone's just silent, staring at their phones at the floor. It'd be incredibly uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
Stagnant.
Totally awkward.
So conversations, even the light ones about, the weather or what you did last weekend, they keep the energy up. They make interacting feel fun, lighthearted. They prevent that awful social stagnation.
And they allow people to feel comfortable enough, maybe, to move on to deeper things if the moment feels right. It's like the warm-up.
Exactly. The warm-up act before the main event.
And that has a real long-term impact, too. The Very Well Mind piece points out that so many of our fondest memories, our most cherished ones, are directly tied to conversations. Those late-night philosophical talks with friends, or the heartfelt chats with loved ones when things are tough, or even just inspiring discussions that leave a mark on you, emotionally or intellectually.
Yeah.
These aren't just fleeting moments. They become part of us, enduring, treasured memories that shape who we are and how we see the world.
It's powerful stuff. And beyond the emotional side, conversations are also huge for just sharing ideas, right?
Yeah, absolutely crucial. They expose us to different perspectives, ideas we might never encounter otherwise. They challenge our own thinking, spark new ideas together.
Yes.
It's how we learn from each other, broaden our horizons, engage in real collaborative thought. When you discuss something complex, you're not just stating what you know, you're kind of co-creating new understanding.
Co-creating, I like that.
And this ties directly into problem solving, too. The material highlights that conversations are the space where we work through challenges, where we tap into what it calls collective wisdom and creativity.
Okay.
Often you'll find solutions or insights during a chat with someone that you just wouldn't have stumbled upon alone.
That's definitely true. I've experienced that.
And maybe, just from a basic human needs standpoint, one of the most fundamental things is that good conversations fulfill our need to feel heard, to feel understood.
Yeah. That validation.
Exactly. When we feel validated, connected through talking, it genuinely boosts our well-being, our happiness. It's not just nice to have, it's like a psychological necessity.
So if conversations are so fundamental, what about the relationships they build, friendships specifically?
Yeah.
It gets more complex there, doesn't it?
It really does. And what's fascinating when you look at it through a sociological lens is that friendships aren't just purely personal things between two people. They're deeply influenced by these often unspoken, unwritten rules of society.
Ah, okay. Tell me more about that.
Well, one of our sources, Cultural Norms in Friendships, delves right into this.
Right.
It defines these cultural norms as the shared expectations, the shared values that basically dictate how people should behave within a certain society or culture.
Right.
So in friendships, these norms cover everything from how friends should interact, what topics are okay to discuss, how much personal space is normal, even how you're supposed to handle disagreements.
Wow. Okay. So it's like a script we're following without even realizing it sometimes.
Kind of, yeah. And understanding these norms isn't just, interesting trivia. It's absolutely essential for navigating social situations smoothly, preventing misunderstandings.
Which happen all the time, especially across cultures.
Exactly. And ultimately, for building stronger, more resilient relationships, especially if you're interacting with people from different backgrounds.
That's a critical point. So it's not just about whether your personalities click or you like the same movies?
No. The sociology of friendship, as the source explains it, looks at how broader things, culture, social class, even power dynamics, subtly shape how our friendships form and how they're maintained.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Like in some cultures, there might be a really strong expectation that friends help each other out financially if needed.
Okay.
Whereas in other cultures, that might feel like a huge overstep, like blurring boundaries. Or think about social class. It can influence who you even meet, what social circles you move in, what activities you do together.
Right, that makes sense.
So this academic perspective, it gives us really deep insights into how these cultural norms shape our connections. And it helps us think about how to build more meaningful, more inclusive friendships by being aware of these underlying factors. It pushes us beyond just individual interactions.
Okay, so now let's bring in the language learning aspect. Because when you're a non-native English speaker, all these nuances, the conversational give and take, those unspoken cultural rules you just mentioned, it must feel like trying to navigate a maze blindfolded sometimes.
That's a great analogy. It can be incredibly complex.
We looked at a source from Reddit, and it offered this really personal, quite poignant view of this exact struggle. It was from a teenager, someone really passionate about learning English, trying hard to improve, but just feeling completely isolated socially. No real social life to speak of.
That's tough.
Yeah. And this person talked about the anxiety they felt when people interrupted them while they were trying to speak, feeling like they came across as too serious, maybe even boring. And underneath it all was this belief that English, because it's so global, was their best shot at making real friends. It really highlights that painful reality.
Yeah.
You're learning the language you desperately want to connect, but there's this invisible wall.
Often built from internal anxieties.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And our sources really emphasize that common thread, that pervasive anxiety of not knowing what to say or just being terrified of how you'll be perceived, how you'll be judged.
And this is where another source, Better Up, gives us some really crucial distinctions. It helps clarify these internal struggles that so many people face. It defines shyness, for instance, as that feeling of discomfort or nervousness in social situations.
Right. That's self-consciousness.
Yeah, exactly. Often coupled with a fear of judgment or rejection. And it's important to realize shyness is a spectrum, right? It can be mild, just a little unease, or it can be quite severe, almost debilitating. And it can show up physically blushing, sweating, trembling. But it's distinct from social anxiety disorder. That's a clinical mental health issue. It involves this intense, often irrational fear of social situations, driven by a deep fear of rejection, criticism, self-criticism. And it often leads people to actively withdraw.
Okay, that's an important difference.
It really is. And then there's introversion, which is different again. That's just a personality trait. Introverts might prefer quieter settings or need alone time to recharge, but they aren't necessarily shy or anxious. They can be perfectly confident socially.
Understanding those distinctions is key then, because they probably need different approaches.
Absolutely.
And the impact of these struggles, whether it's common shyness or more severe anxiety, the impact on actually connecting is huge, isn't it?
Undeniably, it can seriously hinder just engaging socially. It makes starting a conversation feel like climbing a mountain. And the sad consequence often is isolation. Even when there's a strong desire to connect, it's a very real, often hidden hurdle for language learners especially. But as you said, understanding these things is the first really empowering step towards breaking through.
Okay, so we know why conversations matter. We know some of the internal hurdles. But how do you actually start one? This is where conversation starters come in, right? They become your best friend, especially in a new language.
Absolutely your best friend. Sources like Rolla Academy Dubai and Espresso English really hammer home their importance. They're basically these curated phrases designed specifically to break the ice.
Okay.
To make others feel comfortable right away, create a welcoming vibe. And for English learners, having these ready to go, it's a huge confidence booster. It makes speaking feel more natural, less like a test you might fail.
Less like a performance.
Yeah.
Like opening the door to interaction.
Exactly. You know, one expert brilliantly called conversations relentless coordination games.
I like that.
And these starters, they're your crucial first move. They get you onto the playing field. They're usually simple, easy to remember, and really versatile. You can use them at school, at work, just hanging out.
Right. They smooth things over.
They smooth that initial bit, get the ball rolling, move you from silence to dialogue. They take away the awkwardness and just invite the other person to jump in.
Okay, let's get practical then. Give us some examples we can use right away. We need that toolkit of openers for like any situation.
Definitely. Our sources offer a fantastic array. For just casual greetings, you can't go wrong with, "Hi, how's it going?"
Simple.
Simple. And a little tip. Try stressing the how slightly. "Hi, how's it going?" Makes it sound a bit more natural, friendly. Or, "Hey, nice to see you. What's new?" That acknowledges them and asks for an update, shows you're interested.
Nice. What about morning-specific ones?
"Good morning. How's your day starting?" Warm, inviting, encourages a positive response usually.
Okay. And what about those nuances, like how's it going versus how are you?
Yeah, everyday conversations points that out. Both are common, but how's it going often feels a touch more relaxed. And when someone asks, "How are you?" remember the classic response, "Fine, thanks, and you," with that rising intonation on you, shows you're asking back.
Right, keeps the ball in the air.
Exactly. And a common trip up for learners, "Good night," is almost always a farewell, not a greeting.
Oh, good reminder.
And handshakes. In the US, pretty standard when meeting someone new. Keep it firm, just 2-3 seconds, perfect timing for a nice to meet you.
Got it. What about more formal settings?
Yeah, like the American English example shows something like, "Good morning, Professor Austin, how are you doing?"
Yeah.
Shows that respect and formality needed in, say, an academic or professional context.
Makes sense. Okay, moving to those always reliable topics. The day or the weather. Safe bets.
Always safe bets, non-controversial, instantly relatable. You could say, "Wow, it's so sunny today. Do you like this weather?"
Yeah.
Easy way to get an opinion, start a chat.
Or open-ended questions.
Even better, "How's your day been so far?" Or, "Did you do anything fun this morning?" These need more than a yes or no, so they encourage a proper response.
Good point.
The sources even give useful weather phrases like, "It's freezing outside," or talking about a cold front or wind chill driving down the temperature. Using those makes you sound more natural, allows for a bit more detail.
Okay, and what about compliments? Are they a good strategy?
Oh, a fantastic strategy. Never underestimate the power of a genuine compliment. Sources strongly suggest using them to build connection.
Like what?
Something like, I love your bag, where did you get it? It shows you notice something specific, you appreciate their taste, and it invites them to share a little something.
Nice. Or situation specific.
Yeah, you did a great job in class today. Boosts their confidence and opens the door to talk about the class. Or if you want to gauge interest, that's cool shirt. Do you like fashion? Remember, genuine compliments, they're like conversational super boosters. They make people feel good, make them more open to talking. And a small tip, stress keywords like love or great to sound enthusiastic.
Got it. So the real trick isn't just memorizing lists of phrases.
No, definitely not.
It's more about understanding the type of phrase that fits the specific moment, the context.
Exactly. You need to tailor them.
So for school or college, what works there?
Things related to shared experience. Did you do the homework for English class? Or what did you think of the teacher's lesson today? Instantly relatable. Are you joining the school event this weekend? Is great for finding common ground socially.
Makes sense. And at work, professional settings.
Adapt again. How's your project going? Need any help? Shows you're collaborative, a team player.
Good one.
Did you see the new office setup? It's cool, safe, observational, good for light chat. What do you usually do for lunch around here? A classic way to bond with colleagues during breaks. And pronunciation matters here too, saying PRJect clearly can make you sound more articulate.
Right. Okay, social events, parties, more relaxed vibe.
Yeah, definitely. This party is great. How do you know the host? Shared context right there. Have you tried the food here? It's amazing. Simple, pleasant, easy common ground.
Okay.
Or if you're feeling a bit bolder, what's the best party you've been to lately? Invites a fun story.
Nice. And just meeting someone totally new.
Keep it simple and direct. I don't think we've met. I'm your name. Followed by a friendly, nice to meet you. Standard, effective.
And if you're just like out and about in public.
Best bet is often just commenting on your shared surroundings. See a cute dog. Your dog is so cute. What's its name? In a cafe or bar. This is a great song. I love Latin music. How about you?
Okay.
The general idea across all these is just make a comment about the immediate situation or make an observation. It's like an open invitation for the other person to respond. Just create that easy, natural opening signal you're open to connecting.
Right. So you've used your starter. You've broken the ice. Now what? How did you keep it going?
Ah, yes. Sustaining the exchange. This is where active listening really becomes the engine driving the whole thing.
Okay.
The Very Well Mind source really emphasizes this. It's about going way beyond just hearing the words. It's truly getting what the other person is communicating, their meaning, their feelings, their intention.
How do you show that?
Through a mix of non-verbal cues, making comfortable eye contact, using facial expressions that match the conversation, nodding to show you're following, smiling when appropriate. These signals are vital. They show you're engaged and make the speaker feel heard.
It's not just about nodding and smiling.
Yes.
It's how you respond verbally, too.
Absolutely. The source says move beyond just uh-huh or wow. Elaborate a bit, offer details, share your opinion, maybe inject some humor if it fits, and critically use those conversational superheroes follow-up questions.
Like what?
Oh, really? Tell me more. Or how did that make you feel? These show you're genuinely listening and want to understand more deeply. It also means using what they just said as a launchpad for your next question or a related thought. Don't just wait for your turn to talk.
Yeah, build on what they say. Creates that flow.
Exactly. And try hard not to interrupt. Let them finish their thought. It shows respect, keeps the conversation smooth. Also, notice if you're both repeating points, that's a sign the topic's run its course. Time to gently switch gears.
Good tip.
And a really neat technique for connection, using callbacks, briefly mentioning something you talked about earlier, even from a past conversation.
Oh, yeah. That shows you were really listening.
Totally. Shows you remember details, often brings a smile or deepens a connection. It's a sign of a really engaged conversationalist.
Okay, but what about when things stall? We all hit those roadblocks, right? That kerfuffle of conversation, as you called it earlier.
Yeah, the kerfuffle. It's totally normal. The goal isn't perfection. It's supporting each other through those moments.
So how do you recognize a stall?
The Very Well Mind source points to clues. Those long mutual pauses where no one speaks. Repeating stuff you've already said. Maybe that kind of uncomfortable, nervous laughter. These signal interest might be fading.
Okay, so what do you do then?
Time to gently shift gears. Introduce a new topic. A well-placed, thought-provoking question can work wonders here.
Not just yes/no questions.
Right. Something open-ended, like, what's something you've always wanted to try but haven't had the chance yet? Or, what surprised you recently? These encourage more sharing, open up new paths.
Okay, what else?
Strategic humor, if it fits the situation, can break the tension and redirect things nicely. And sometimes it's okay to just take a break.
Really?
Yeah, so just grabbing another drink or maybe shifting to look at something else if you're at an event. It can refresh the interaction. And don't fear silence entirely, especially with people you know well. Awkward with strangers, maybe, but comfortable pauses between friends are fine. Shows ease.
Good point. But with new people, probably best to keep it positive.
Definitely. The source warns against negativity, criticisms, gossip, really controversial stuff. It can just derail the mood and shut things down fast. The key is that mutual support through the give and take.
So this brings up a really important question. How do you go from just saying the words, maybe a bit stiffly, to actually sounding natural, sounding like yourself, confident, even in English?
That's a huge step, isn't it? Moving from recitation to real expression. Our sources offer some practical tips here. Pronunciation practice is key.
How so?
Actively listen to native speakers' podcasts, movies, real people, and try repeating phrases. Pay attention to word stress, like we say conversation, not conversation, or weather for weather. Don't rush. Slowing down helps clarity and builds confidence.
Okay. And body language. You mentioned nonverbals earlier.
Speaks volumes. A genuine smile makes you seem friendly, approachable. Good eye contact shows interest. And an open posture, not crossing your arms, facing the person makes you look welcoming. These really boost your verbal message.
Makes sense. What about the mental side? Getting out of your own head?
Crucial. Try to avoid overthinking every single word. Focus on connecting with the person, not on perfect grammar. Simple, clear phrases are totally fine, often more natural anyway.
Right. And use those open-ended questions we talked about.
Yes. Avoid those yes-no questions that just stop the flow. Instead of, do you like school? Try, what's your favorite thing about school? Keeps it going. And finally, strive for balance. Don't just talk about yourself. Ask questions, actively listen. It makes it a two-way street, enjoyable for both.
Okay, let's add another layer here. Culture. Just when you think you're getting the hang of the conversation itself, bam, cultural differences.
Yep, another layer of complexity appears. Our cultural norms and friendship source really dives into how communication styles vary wildly across cultures.
Like how?
Well, think about directness versus indirectness. In many Western cultures, like the US or UK, being direct is often valued. It's seen as honest, clear, assertive. You generally say what you mean. But then you look at many Eastern cultures, Japan or China, for example, and indirectness is often preferred. It's about maintaining harmony, avoiding confrontation, helping people save face. The goal isn't always blunt truth, but smooth interaction.
That's a big difference.
Huge. And there are others. Latin American cultures often more expressive, emotive. Many African cultures more community-focused, valuing storytelling. These differences, they can easily lead to misunderstandings, even conflict in cross-cultural friendships if you're not aware of them.
It's not about right or wrong, just different approaches.
Exactly. And it goes deeper than just words. How emotions are expressed, the idea of intimacy in friendships, also very culturally relative.
Okay.
Some cultures really value close, intimate friendships where showing emotion openly is normal, expected. Lots of physical touch, sharing personal details freely. Other cultures might favor more formal, reserved connections. Right. So it's not just if you show emotion, but how and when. Like in Mediterranean cultures, big emotional displays might signal warmth and closeness. But in some Northern European cultures, reserve might be seen as respectful, and too much emotion could feel uncomfortable.
Wow.
These differences affect everything, how friends show affection, offer support, even navigate arguments. Understanding this helps ensure your gestures of care land the way you intend them to.
So what does this mean for you, the listener, trying to build these connections? It sounds like adaptability is key.
Huge. Adaptability, observation, a real willingness to learn, even when things feel different from your own norms. And this applies to conflict resolution, too.
How cultures handle disagreements.
Profoundly different sometimes. Some might go for direct confrontation, negotiation, let's hash it out. Others might use avoidance, get a third party involved, prioritize harmony over immediate resolution. The source mentions indigenous cultures using restorative justice, focusing on healing and reconciliation for the whole community, not just blame. Understanding these different approaches is crucial for navigating conflicts and cross-cultural friendships without causing unintentional offense.
It requires patience and asking questions.
Definitely. Turning potential clashes into chances for deeper understanding.
Okay, let's circle back to shyness. We know it's common, but it's important to remember it's not necessarily a fixed state, right?
Absolutely not. What's fascinating is that it's often rooted in understandable experiences or learned habits that can be addressed. Better Up gives a really clear definition. Shyness is that discomfort or nervousness in social situations, especially with new people.
That fear of judgment again.
Yeah, high self-consciousness, fear of rejection makes it tough to start or keep conversations going.
And you mentioned the key characteristics before self-consciousness, maybe social anxiety, avoidance, even physical reactions like blushing.
Exactly, and it exists on that spectrum from mild to quite severe. While it's different from a clinical disorder, it can definitely impact your life and ability to connect.
What about the causes? Where does it come from?
Better Up suggests a few possibilities. There might be an inherited component, maybe genetic, but environment plays a huge role.
Like upbringing.
Yeah, maybe strict or critical parents or an unsafe environment growing up. That can make it hard to build confidence. Also, traumatic experiences, bullying, public ridicule, big family changes like divorce or death can contribute significantly later on.
So understanding why you're shy is a first step.
Often a crucial first step to addressing it, yeah. Building new ways to cope.
So what does this mean for you, the listener, practically? It's not about becoming a totally different person, but more about cultivating certain mindsets and using strategies.
Precisely. It's about practical steps. Both Better Up and that Reddit thread offer great tips. First off, start small.
Don't jump into the deep end.
Exactly. Don't aim for public speaking right away. Start with low-stakes chats, family, close friends, a brief exchange with a colleague. Gradual exposure builds confidence, calms nerves, teaches your brain it's okay.
Okay, what else?
Explore your strengths. Do things you're good at. Feeling competent in one area diminishes self-doubt overall, makes you more willing to try new things socially, and try to shift your focus outwards.
Not thinking everyone's watching you.
Yes, that's a common trap. Most people are focused on themselves or the conversation. If you focus on asking questions, really listening, it takes the pressure off you.
Makes sense. Avoid self-sabotage, too. That inner critic.
Hugely important. Be aware of negative self-talk and challenge it. And even though it's uncomfortable, try not to avoid social situations entirely. That can lead to isolation and feeling worse. Push yourself gently.
You'll be okay with things not being perfect.
Totally. Welcome setbacks. One awkward moment isn't failure, it's learning. Nobody gets it right immediately. Growth comes from those imperfect moments.
Good advice. What about identifying triggers?
Yeah, name it. When shyness hits, notice what's happening. My heart's racing. I feel stuck for words. Acknowledging it helps you learn for next time. Understanding the why behind it, lack of confidence, bad memory, helps break the cycle. Challenges that inner voice.
And surround yourself with supportive people.
Absolutely critical. Non-judgmental folks empower you to step outside your comfort zone. And if it's persistent, seriously impacting you, therapy or coaching can be incredibly helpful. They help identify causes, reframe thoughts, manage symptoms, develop strategies.
So how do you take these skills and put them into practice? You mentioned specific mindsets earlier.
Right. Better Up outlines key mental shifts. Cultivating social ease, feeling comfortable, natural, not overthinking, developing self-assuredness, believing in your worth, engaging without that fear of judgment,
Okay.
fostering openness, being willing to connect, share appropriately, not hold back, building assertiveness, expressing yourself clearly, respectfully, practicing presence, being fully in the moment, not lost in doubt, and embracing authenticity.
Being yourself.
Yes, feeling free to be genuinely you, seeking real connections, not trying to fit a mold. It's not about faking extroversion, but confidently being your authentic self.
Okay, so you've worked on the internal stuff. You have some conversation starters. Now, where do you find people to practice with? Find your tribe.
Great question. Time for the practical where. Our source on finding English-speaking community groups outlines several ways. First, online research is powerful.
Like social media.
Exactly. Facebook groups for language exchange, groups based on hobbies, platforms like Meetup, Eventbrite, great for finding local or even virtual events based on interests. Use keywords.
Good idea. What about offline? Local resources.
Definitely don't overlook them. Community centers, libraries, they often have conversation clubs, book readings, super supportive, low-pressure environments. Even check traditional places like community bulletin boards and coffee shops or local papers. You might be surprised.
Okay, and for professionals.
LinkedIn is great. Find industry groups, webinars, virtual conferences, good for practice and networking. Also, language schools and universities often have exchange programs or workshops, sometimes open to the public. Explore all avenues.
So once you find a group, how do you make the most of it? Just showing up isn't enough, right?
Right. Active participation is key. Go to meetings with an open mind, ready to learn and connect. Show genuine interest in others. Contribute, share your experiences, and if it's language exchange, help others with your native language. Reciprocity builds bonds.
Makes sense. What else?
Use any online parts of the group forums, social pages for ongoing practice, and consider volunteering for small roles, organizing something, leading a discussion. Increases visibility, builds skills, fosters trust. Having clear goals helps too. What do you want to get out of it? Improve vocab, make friends, network.
And the benefits are worth the effort.
Hugely. Language improvement, cultural immersion, building a support network, applying English practically, maybe finding new hobbies. It makes language learning real and lived.
So thinking about building those connections, especially across cultures, it comes back to putting in the effort, right?
Yeah.
Practicing empathy.
Exactly. That cultural norms source reminds us, be open-minded, curious. Practice active listening, ask clarifying questions. Be aware of differences, willing to adapt and learn. Foster mutual respect and trust. Navigating differences actually helps build stronger, more inclusive relationships in the long run.
It all comes down to practice, doesn't it? You can know all this stuff, but you have to apply it.
Knowledge is only valuable when understood and applied. Consistent practice is critical. Don't wait for perfect moments. Strike up casual chats, cashier, neighbor, person on the bus, low pressure, great practice.
Join those interest groups too.
Yes. Book clubs, hiking groups, sports teams. Shared hobbies give you instant things to talk about. You can even role play with a friend, practice overcoming roadblocks, introducing topics. Fun, low-stakes practice.
What about media?
Use it actively. Listen to English podcasts, audiobooks. Pay attention to the flow, rhythm, intonation of natural conversation. And if you're brave, record yourself talking with permission. Listening back helps you spot areas to improve filler words, pronunciation, pauses.
The more you practice, the more natural it becomes.
Exactly. Confidence grows with consistent effort in all kinds of settings.
Okay, so we've really covered a lot of ground today, journeying through the whole landscape of English communication, from those first tricky hellos, navigating cultural cues, all the way to fostering genuine connections. And I think the key takeaway is the goal isn't really perfection, is it?
No, not at all.
It's more about embracing presence, about authentic engagement in every conversation.
Absolutely. Which brings up a question for you, our listener. Thinking about everything we've discussed, what one strategy, just one thing, will you commit to practicing this week to enhance your English communication?
Yeah, maybe initiating one conversation with an open-ended question, or really focusing on nonverbal listening in your next chat.
Could be anything, just one small step.
And as you step out and put these insights into practice, maybe consider this. Every conversation isn't just swapping words. It's really an invitation to grow, to understand more deeply, and honestly, to broaden your world. What unexpected connection, what little insight might be waiting for you, just one well-placed phrase away.
And as you engage, just remember that even the smallest interaction, the briefest chat, can lead to those really profound aha moments, both about other people and often quite surprisingly about yourself.
Great job today on Just Say It, where every phrase brings you closer to fluency. If you found this lesson helpful, click the bell to never miss an episode and leave a comment sharing your favorite tip. Until next time, keep practicing and just say it.